Picture yourself in a courtroom. You sit there in the seat of the accused, waiting for the jury to come out and issue their verdict. 12 people you've never met before in your entire life are about to come out and decide your fate. It's a little scary. You know that you didn't kidnap that child, and you certainly don't have him hidden away in some secret location, but the person in the security footage does kind of look like you, but you know that you didn't do it. Finally, the jury comes out, they hand a piece of paper to the judge, and the judge announces to the entire courtroom that you have been found guilty. You're issued a sentence and escorted out of that building by officers to a grim and unknown fate where you'll pay for the crime that you never committed. How did this happen? It happened at least in part because you had a trial by jury rather than a trial by a judge. I'm going to take the next few moments to show you why bench trials are better than jury trials, because jury members cannot be trusted and because jury members are ignorant of the law. First, jury members cannot be trusted. Jury members are made up of random citizens selected out of the public sector of the United States. They're called in to sit on a jury, and they decide whether or not a person being accused is innocent or whether or not he is guilty. Here's the problem with this. These people, since they're randomly selected, could be criminals themselves. One of the people sitting on the jury at your court case could have just robbed a bank the other week, but he got away with it clean, and now here he is sitting in a court case deciding if someone else is innocent or guilty. Maybe he'll vote for someone that is guilty to be innocent because he himself is a criminal. Another problem with this is because these members of juries are randomly selected, they could have their own personal prejudices they carry with them. For example, if a racist person is in a jury, then the race that they're prejudiced against, whether it be Asian, Black, Hispanic, whatever it is, they're going to vote to convict them guilty whether or not they believe them to actually be guilty just because of their own personal prejudice. Or if a person is sexist and a woman is on trial, they may vote for her to be convicted guilty whether or not she actually is or isn't. These are real problems that happen when you have randomly selected people deciding the fate of others. Not only this, but also jury members may produce false conclusions because they just don't want to be there. Jury duty is a mandatory thing that every citizen of the United States has to do. It's part of our citizenship. And unless you have a reasonable excuse, usually only two are given, such as if you have a medical emergency or if you have recently served on jury duty. If it's not one of those two reasons, then you get a $100 fine for skipping jury duty in the state of Florida. So you have to go, but that doesn't mean everyone wants to be there. A man named Abraham Julian, he wrote a book analyzing the courts of America, and he gave an example of a young mother who admitted that when she was on jury duty a few years prior, she voted to convict a man of rape, even though she believed that he was innocent. But she voted to convict him anyways because she didn't want to go against the other jury members who were saying that they think that he was guilty, and she just wanted to hurry up and get back home to her kids. So she said, I voted to convict him as guilty despite believing him to be innocent because I needed to get home to my child. I knew that he was at home by himself. She just wanted to hurry up and get out of there. It didn't matter whether he was actually guilty or not. She didn't want to stand there and take the time to fight for this person, this innocent man who now has to spend his life in prison for rape, and he has to be a registered sex offender just because the jury members didn't really want to be there. Not only can jury members not be trusted, but jury members are ignorant of the law. Because these jury members are randomly selected people, they don't have as much knowledge of the law as a judge would have. Judges not only go to get their undergraduate degree, but then they have to go to graduate school for several years, and then they have to work as either an attorney or some sort of person acting in law for a number of years, depending on the state, before they can actually become a judge. And all these years of experience means that this judge knows the law. He will be able to interpret it and what is properly right and what is wrong, and generally do so without prejudice, at least as much prejudice as a random person chosen off the street would do. Most people don't know the difference, what the law says. Like, they know you can't kill somebody, you can't go rob a bank, but they don't know the intimate little details of the law like a judge would. So in conclusion, bench trials are better than jury trials because jury members cannot be trusted and because judges are more knowledgeable of the law. Now picture yourself back in that courtroom, except this time you have a bench trial instead of a jury trial, and the judge decides that you are innocent. You walk out of the courtroom a free man because you had someone who's actually knowledgeable of the law and can issue a verdict without prejudice.